Hello! The purpose of this video is to show you how to import outcomes in Canvas. Outcomes are what we know in the Oshkosh Area School District to be standards. So whenever you hear the word outcomes, just think of them as standards. In this instance, I have a science class and a social studies class. So for each of these classes, I will have to import separate outcomes. I'm going to show the science one first, and you get the idea of how to do that for social studies just by looking at that. So I click on science, and this is a 7th grade science course. So once I get into my 7th grade science course, I'm going to find outcomes on the left-hand side. I'll go ahead and click outcomes. And once outcomes open up, we have a couple of options. There's new outcome, new group, and find. We're always going to choose find. When we click on find, we have two options, Common Core and Account Standards. We're going to choose Account Standards. And once we choose Account Standards, we can always go down to the Oshkosh Area School District, even though it shows us which school that we're teaching in. Now you have to decide if you're a high school teacher or a middle school teacher and which ones are appropriate for this course. If you teach both high school and middle school, make sure that whatever course you're using, you choose the appropriate outcomes. So this is a 7th grade science class, so I'll be choosing middle school. Once I go down then, I have a couple of options here, and I can see that science is one of the options, so I'm going to go ahead and just keep on choosing what's appropriate, and I'll click on science. And since this is a Science 7 course, I'm going to choose Science 7 up here. When I click on Science 7, what you'll notice then is I have a list of all different outcomes in here, and I can click on an individual outcome, and that shows me the short name for it and also a description of that particular outcome. What I want to make sure I do though is I want to make sure I have clicked on the Science 7 one, and then I'm just looking at the folder and I can't see actually any of the short names on the right hand side. That lets me know that I'm going to be importing every single one of these standards that I see here all at once, instead of importing them one by one. Now this navigation can be a little bit difficult, so if you go ahead and use your mouse to kind of scroll over here, you'll be able to get back to where you started. You'll be able to see the entire path, so you're kind of scrolling left and right in order to see that path. Okay, so I'm going to select Science 7, make sure that I have the whole folder selected, and then just go down to where it says Import and click the Import button. Canvas will tell you that it's about to import all of these standards, or outcomes rather, and you can just push OK. Once those are loaded, I'll now see that in my Outcomes section for my science class, I have my Science 7 outcomes in a folder, and then every individual outcome after that. You may want to double check your outcomes just to be certain that everything is correct and that you have all of them imported. Once you have all of your curricular outcomes imported, it's important to also make sure that you import life and career skills if you're in middle school, and potentially college and career readiness skills if you're in high school. One important thing to remember though is that as soon as you've imported your curricular standards, this folder will still be selected, and you want to make sure that you're not importing your life and career skills or your college and career readiness skills into this folder. So you'll just make sure you need to push back. Once you push back, now you're no longer inside of the Science 7 folder, even though that Science 7 folder exists. So now I'm going to go ahead and push Find again in order to find my life and career skills. So again, you can see this path. You click on Account Standards, Oshkosh Area School District, and then if you're in high school or middle school, so this time we're in middle school, and then I can go down to where it says Life and Career Skills. And very much like my curricular outcomes, I'll click on Life and Career Skills to make sure that the folder is highlighted, and then I can scroll down to push the Import button. Again, Canvas will confirm. And now it will look like this if I've imported them correctly. I'll have a separate Science 7 folder, which will have all of my science curriculum, and then I'll also have a separate life and career skills folder, which will have all of my life and career skills in a separate place. And that should be it. As long as you have your curricular standards and also your life and career skills, or potentially your college and career skills outcomes, you should have everything done correctly.